Hey, what's up guys? It's Kyle from RR Buildings and I'm back with another Tools Day. Today we're going to talk about one of those niche tools that not a lot of people have talked about. And so let's just get right into it. All right guys, so what we're talking about today is one of these niche tools or niche tools. I don't really know how you say that, but I do know that it's one of those tools that you don't use all the time, but when you do, you are thankful that you have it. And I'm talking about the Milwaukee M12 cordless stapler. So it's battery powered and it requires like zero effort. If you can pull the trigger, it's gonna shoot a staple. It's gonna use the M12 battery platform system. So a lot of people are gonna already have that. It's gonna shoot T50 staples. So that's a 3/8 crown, anywhere from 1/4 inch to 9/16. So that's going to be the range of staple that it's able to shoot. And it weighs 3 pounds and comes in at 7.5 inches long. So it definitely weighs more than your standard stapler that you're going to see most guys carry. But I don't think the weight is that noticeable for the gain in just the effort that you use. It's also got a dry fire lockout, an adjustable dial for depth of drive. So it's got two different options or firing modes. One of them is a sequential trigger, which means you just hold down the trigger and start bump firing it. And the other one is a contact actuation, which means you gotta basically put the gun to the material, pull the trigger, and it shoots. So that's kind of cool that you have those couple different options. You're gonna be able to shoot somewhere between 1,500 staples per charge, but that's depending obviously on what type of M12 battery you use. And it's got a belt hook. A couple other cool features is that it fits easily in my pouch. So I know some people's pouches are not going to fit because they have a small trim pouch or whatever, but then you have that nice belt hook that you can mount it on the edge of your belt. So this thing is about $99 bare tool. So definitely more money than having just a standard, maybe one of those hand activated staplers, which looks something like this. But I think it's one of those tools that you'll definitely appreciate once you have it. So you cry once. Wait, how does this go? You buy once, you cry once. I think that's the saying. And I think my buddy, the Essential Craftsman, is the one that I heard that from. Go check his channel out if you would. I like his saying because I kind of feel that there's a lot of tools out there that they do cost a lot of money. But you buy it once, you cry once, you get over, and then for the rest of that tool's life, you appreciate that you own it. So let's go ahead and I'll show you some of these features that I'm talking about. We've got first and foremost, the belt hook. This is going to be, right here, very visible. We've got this adjustable depth knob, dial, whatever. So it's two-sided. You can see that if you spin it this way, it's going to give you more shooting power. Back this way, less shooting power. I mean, you got minus, plus, pretty simple. One thing I didn't talk about, but as you just give the trigger a slight little trigger pull, you're going to get a battery indicator. So we've got a nice light up there. There is not an LED light on this. So, I know a lot of tools are coming out. They all got LED light up spotlights on them. I don't think that's super necessary. Some of the other features I didn't talk about are these molding little bumpers. And even on the corners here, everything is very well, molded so that when it's on a surface, it kind of, is sticky for one. So if you're up on the roof, it's not going to slide down very easily. Also, it's going to protect your surfaces, not going to scratch it all up. The belt hook is removable or swappable. You can go either side if you're a lefty, or like me, I like to hook it on my right side, and then it's just right there ready for me to go. One of the nice things is you've got this viewing window here, so you can see where your staplers or your staples are. So I'm about out of staples right now. The way you add staples is pretty standard. It's got this nice little spring system here. You drop in the staples upside down. You can fit like one clip, a full clip of staples in here. Here you can see your dry fire lockout. So if I don't have any staples in here, you see how that doesn't go? That's not going to allow me to try to shoot into material and penetrate with a couple holes or anything. It only works, when you have staples in there. So that's a cool feature. And other than that, man, I mean, this is a very basic tool, but this is what, typically you're going to compare it to. And honestly, when DeWalt came out with this thing weighs like next to nothing. Literally, I swear it feels, it's carbon fiber composite. I don't know really what that means. It looks cool, it sounds cool, it doesn't weigh hardly anything, and it just works really well. This is a really good hand stapler. I don't remember the price of this, but I will go ahead and I'll tag it in the corner here so you guys can go check it out if you want. I totally recommend this stapler, but I'll be honest, I hardly ever grab it. I just go ahead and go right for the corded powered one because maybe I'm crazy, but I just like power, right? I mean, it's easier. So let's go ahead and let's show you actually what I love about this stapler and some of the demos, and I'll even compare some of the other typical staplers that you're gonna see on site and guys that are using them. And I always get the feedback from you guys is what I love too in the comments, like, hey, it's way quicker to use a slap tacker, it's way quicker to do this, better to, like, that's fine, guys. Like, I am not the Bible, okay? I'm not telling you what is or what isn't. I'm only telling you what I've learned from my experience, and I love for you guys to engage down in the comments. That's what it's all about, is for us to all learn. So let's go ahead and show you some of the materials that I will typically use this stapler for. First and foremost, this is house wrap. Now, I don't usually use this up in the gables of my buildings, but I do use it on a lot of our insulated shops. And what I love about this is, first, you know what, let's do this. This is a slap tacker, dual fast, very standard. Like, this is, to me, one of those staplers that just seems like industry standard. If you're a roofer or really doing anything, it does a super fast job. But there's some downsides to this. First off, let me show you kind of what it and how it works. You use the weight. There's a lot of weight up here in the head, and as you slap it down on your material, the weight triggers the mechanism inside. This pushes up. You can see kind of the motion there, and it shoots a staple out. So I'll just show you kind of how it works. Okay, so this is actually a great example as to why I don't like this stapler. You can see how much it drove that staple. See how much it drove that staple in? But now with me, you know, not doing as hard, now they're recessed. So depending on how you hit this material, you're moving really fast, you get a lot of inconsistencies. So if you want to get a lot of nice, accurate, you know, staples in your material, or you're up in a corner or something, you're going to use a stapler like this, and it's not that hard to use. This has come a long way. It used to be the old Stanley T50 staplers that I remember growing up with my dad. You had to like put all of your weight into them, and they had a big spring. Well, this DeWalt one is super ergonomic. I think that's what they kind of touted and were really proud of, and it's super lightweight, and it does a really good job. Very consistent. We're not overdriving them. I don't think it's ever going to overdrive them, but sometimes it does underdrive them, and you don't have any adjustment for depth of drive on this. I don't see anything at all. And so that's where we come in to current battery powered Milwaukee stapler. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. Okay. Now let's assume I don't like the way that this is in there. Maybe I want it to drive deeper. Maybe I want it to be less deep. I can adjust that. I can either go less deep or deeper. And what this is really important for is when I'm doing things like house wrap or felt paper up on a roof, I can make sure that every one of these staples is perfect. I don't want to go too deep, so I'm blowing out my house wrap, because then when the first wind comes, it's going to pull right through that staple. I want a nice, consistent depth of drive, and that's either when you're on a roof. Like, look at the amount of, I guess, damage to the material that it does, because you're hitting this big shoe surface, and if you're not hitting it perfect, which, let's be honest, when you're in a production mode, perfect is not usually what's happening, and so you're hitting the edge of your shoe here, and that's damaging your material. This is slower, no doubt in my mind. I don't want to have a bunch of comments down below about how much slower it is, but I will say it has a bump fire mode, and I'll show you how fast that is. So first, what you do, listen to this. Okay, you heard that. It kind of actuated inside. It is now engaged. Now that my finger is on the trigger, it's in a bump fire mode. Now that means all I have to do, oh, it died on me. okay? I'm out of staples. I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't have many more staples. But look at how consistent every one of these staples were. And I don't know about you, I don't really feel the need to have to go a whole lot faster than that, especially when I'm doing house wrap. When I'm doing a felt paper on a roof, yeah, it's all about just rolling that out, going pretty quickly. But man, I have just really loved this stapler for that. Well, obviously, like all tools, there are, downsides to what they have to offer. One of them being the weight of the tool. No doubt when you're looking at these two, this thing weighs next to nothing. It's smaller, right? I mean, it's smaller. It's probably a lot less weight that you're going to notice. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that, and I don't even know if this is going to work. This is a piece of aluminum. And I don't deal a ton in aluminum, but I know a lot of you guys that are doing soffit trims or fascia, whatever. The DeWalt, it's gonna go through no problem, right? It's gonna do a pretty good job. Don't even try to use the Duo Fast. It's gonna make all sorts of, dents around your material. But the Milwaukee, I just feel like you have a lot of control over the way that it sets your staple so that you can get the best, smoothest job. You're not gonna be as consistent using the DeWalt because it doesn't have the dial adjustment for your depth. You're not, however, going to be able to shoot metal. So this is 29 gauge steel that I typically use. This is a piece of like wainscot trim. And if I were to just put it over here, see? Now the staple is jammed up in the nose piece here or whatever. So I'm gonna have to deal with that, which no big deal. I think it's gonna come out pretty easy if my fingers can get in there. So there you go. You're not gonna use this to shoot metal, but aluminum down to whatever other material that you can think of, probably in a less, I guess, thickness or gauge than that, is gonna work just fine. So there you go, guys. I am never saying that this Milwaukee M12 stapler takes care of all your other staplers and you should throw them all away, because there's a place for the slap tacker. That's gonna be used when you just need speed. You're not worried about the quality or the depth of drive. You're just gonna lay some asphalt shingles and you just wanna get your felt paper down super quick because the rain's coming, right? That's when you're gonna pull that out. As far as using, one of these, I don't know that I would ever use this over the corded or the cordless version, the Milwaukee, just because, man, it's effortless. It doesn't require any effort and it doesn't take up a lot of space in my pouch and it doesn't really weigh that much. So I'm always curious to hear what you guys think. Are you even using the M12 stapler? Did you even know about it? Because it's one of those niche tools and I feel like that is where these tool companies should go. I think that they should be looking at these tools that are a little bit not mainstream. So, get away from the circular saw upgrades and the drill upgrades. Those things are already phenomenal. Let's take some of those tools that you don't use every day, but let's get a great solution so that when you do use them, you're thankful that you have them. And like always, I feel like, I'm always asking for you to go and hit that subscribe button. But if you're liking the content, if you're liking what we're doing, that's what motivates us to keep doing it and to keep sharing with you guys. And like always, drop your guys' comments down below so we can have that discussion, because I want to learn just as much as I'm hoping you're learning from all these Toolsday videos. And if there's a video that you're looking for me to put out, if there's a tool specifically or an array of tools, whether that's all circular saws or all lasers or whatever it is, drop it down below and I'll do my best to make it, because hey, I enjoy doing it, and as long as you guys are watching them, I'll keep doing it. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week on Toolsday.